What's approaching the supreme moment, reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead.
What's good? I'm up really early getting ready for work. I know I'm going to be busy as hell, so I went ahead and worked on a video real fast. I actually did just clear the level 1 for the new Battlefield, aka Battlefield 2.0. So I'm just going to cover it a little bit since the game mechanics did change a little bit. I'm just going to move right into level 2 so you can see the enemies on the top corners, and depending on which one you pick, it's going to require certain conditions or whatnot. Like this one will have reduced damage taken and inability to get stunned, and no effect on attack and defense decreases kind of thing. So you have to pick out which enemy you want to attack first. I'm going with the Android 13, and then I have to pick a team, but since it is limited to 100 units available, it's the dilemma that you don't want to be overly conservative, but you don't want to be overly aggressive either. Like, obviously I'm picking some pretty decent units and leads, like the Gogeta lead and then the sub leader for my Vegeta. So since you can't pick a friend, you can pick a sub leader out of your deck. So it's a combination of those two, so you have to think about how you want to set that up. Now, initially I thought about going with the main leader as a godly type, and then putting in a normal lesser leader skill type, like 30% increase HP attack and defense for a certain type kind of thing. But it's almost like a game of chess. Like you see here that he's only got 4 bars, right? So in a way it's almost wasteful that I went with that kind of team, but you never know. And unless there's going to be information available online as to how much HP the enemies have, and what their like max HP and how much damage they're able to take and whatnot. With resources like that available, it'll be easier to kind of pick and strategize a little bit. But this is my first time go at it, so I'm just kind of shooting in the dark a little bit. So pretty much like 3 turns, like he's already pretty much KO'd, right? So in a way, like going with the Gogeta lead and the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta or whatever is kind of wasteful in a way, since I need these types of guys later on in later stages or whatever, in later boss fights. So that's kind of like the dilemma with that a little bit, I guess. But the more time goes on, the more familiar I'll get, and the more I'll be able to familiarize myself with how to set up certain battles with certain teams and that kind of thing. Based on the mission requirements and rewards that I took a look at, it seems like there are a couple mission requirements that do require you to clear a particular stage or level a certain amount of times. So it's and I'm guessing it resets daily, so that deck of 100 will reset every day, I'm guessing, kind of like the old format in the previous Battlefield. So I've got the full power Bojack that I gotta fight against, so obviously I'm gonna go with the tech team, but I feel like this guy's gonna be a little bit powerful, so this is why I'm picking the Gotenks and Trunks. I need decent leader skill settings for that. And as you can see, I mean, if you look at the HP bar, it's a pretty substantial amount, so it was definitely a right choice in picking this guy, since there is another battle coming up after this as the boss stage. So it's definitely different than what it was before, but it's more familiar to the Dokkan gameplay in a way. Like the previous one, it was fun, but I mean, I got tired of it very fast, because you're basically just throwing out all kinds of units on the map just to not have the enemy capture your flag in a way. So I mean, this format is definitely more familiar, and it does have some sort of strategy involved in a way. And the deck count does not reset until the daily reset. So meaning depending on how far you progress in these stages or levels, you're gonna make whatever you used up previously in a battle, you're not gonna be able to use those characters again. So that's why I keep saying that it's important to kind of strategize on particular battles, and if you want to use your best leads early on, if you do, then you're not going to have that kind of unit available for the boss stages and whatnot. But at the same time, if you're overly conservative, you could get your ass handed to you. You know what I'm saying? So like with this one, the HP bar, I don't even know how many bars there is, but had I gone with let's say a 70% leader and a 30% sub lead, I probably would have gotten annihilated. You know what I'm saying? So that's the dilemma with that, is knowing how tough each of the battles are. And like I said, the resources that'd be available online once this kind of takes off for a few days, it'll make things easier in terms of planning things ahead of time, that kind of thing. Like basically I have no idea right now how tough the bosses are, or how many HP bars they have, or what kind of conditions you're limited to, that kind of thing. So it's definitely tougher with that kind of setting, but the more information you have, the easier it'll get. So I'm guessing within the next few days, there's gonna be all sorts of information online that you can use to kind of plan out each battle. Luckily there's not like a time limit you have to beat this event by. There's only the time frame of like 19 days that this event is going on for in JP. So there's not really anything else limited. So once you clear those two, now comes the boss battle, which is going to be the Super Saiyan Broly. Damage reduction, no stun, and then attack and defense are nullified. So since it is a strength type, I'm going to go with the agility format. So I've got a decent amount of leads here, like Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Super Vegito, and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. I want to include at least 2 of them, but not all 3, because I might need to reserve that for later. So I'm going to hold off on the Extreme Z Awakened Goku, because I might have to pull the rabbit out of a hat for using a Super Saiyan 3 category team, since it's one of my toughest category teams available right now in my deck. So I do want to put in Tapion because he does have the ability to reduce damage, and then goes into his giant form. So as you can see, the sub lead is Super Vegito, and leader is going to be my Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. And really, the rest of the guys are pretty much fillers. I really didn't want to use the best units for this, but just maintain agility types and decent enough stats to where they could help out. So that Super Saiyan 2 Goku does have the ability to recover HP based on the amount of keys collected, so that's definitely helpful with that. I would have put the Vegito up front, but he's not attacking first, so his defense isn't really going to be maximized. Vegeta can already tank as it is, so it's better off putting him up front for now. So it looks like he's got like, I don't know, 9 or 10 bars, HP bars, so it's definitely a decent amount. So you really don't want to undermine these battles, because if you do and bring in like, what is it, seven or so units, and you get killed, you lose those 7 units. So you're essentially wasting 7 slots if you go about it too conservative. So that's kind of the dilemma. You don't want to use all your best cards up front, like right off the gate, but at the same time, you don't want to take it too easy and then get your ass handed to you, and then next thing you know, you lost those 7 available cards to use. And pretty much I'm relying on Vegito here to just counter as much as possible, get that HP level down. Slowly getting there, but This is only stage 2, so there's 3 and 4, right? So I think things are gonna get a little bit tougher, that's for sure. But like I said, the more information that comes out, and you already know ahead of time, you know, what type of enemies you're fighting, you know, it'll make things easier for sure. And that's kind of how it was in the previous Battlefield. If you went online, they had information on there like, you know, what kind of boss events come up in each stage, and you know what their attributes are and whatnot. So, like I said, right now I'm basically just shooting in the dark. I have no idea what types of battles I'm fighting. I mean, this is the first time going through this thing, so you know there's a lot of unknown variables here. But you know, hopefully with time it'll make things a lot easier. I actually took a pretty decent hit there. Luckily, I have Tapion coming up, and then here we go with the Hirudok Iron Form, and that'll save me a lot of HP, and hopefully I get a special off of him and finish it off. I got like a bar and a third in HP left for Broly here, so you know, a couple of supers here and there, I should be fine. Yeah, I'm really not looking forward to work today. I got so many meetings coming up and all these deadlines, like it's gonna suck, but I at least wanted to get this video up and running, because I know this just came out, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are testing it out and trying it out for the first time. Level 1 did have the Agility Giant Ape Vegeta as the boss, and I can't remember who the first battle was, but you only have to fight one of the peripheral battles, and then you go straight into the boss battle. In this one, it had 2 and then a boss. I'm guessing stage 3 will have 3 battles and then goes into a boss. Stage 4 and so on, you know what I mean? Alright, so managed to clear level 2 here, and yeah, it's definitely going to take some work. And if you don't know who the battles are, it's going to take some luck in deciding, you know, how to go about selecting your team per battle. But you know, once the information is available, it'll be a lot easier, I think.